ìfẹ́ ṣe rẹ́gí rẹ́gí ó ṣe rẹ́gí ìfẹ́ pàdé ara wọn olólùfẹ́ méjì tó pàdé ìfẹ́ rere ni
Olúwa ẹ ṣé o.
ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ o sùúrù
Mo ló gba sùúrù ṣẹgbọ́.
ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ o
Ẹ jẹ́ a fi sùúrù tó lé
ẹ jẹ́
wa.
ká nífẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa ká fi sùúrù
Mo ní ká fi sùúrù bára wa gbé nínú ilé.
ìfẹ́ o
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, our viewers. Welcome to today's Family Focus on Christ Proclaimer Radio. And it's a pleasure that we are here again to the glory of God. We went last week, and today we are here together. And I'm glad you are joining us as usual. So I have with me my I want to say my co-presenter. My co-host, Mr. Idikola Onkoshebi. So what do you have to tell our people?
Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, it's Olayinka Onkoshebi, the Eagle's voice, and it's wonderful to be on the second episode of Family Focus on Christ Proclaimers Radio. You're welcome. Remember, your family matters.
So I'm Patricia Abokede. I'm the child activist and the marriage counselor. And we are here again. We want to discuss some things that affect the family so much, and probably sometimes we have not really paid attention to these practices. And why are we talking about it today? Because just 2 days ago, we celebrated the day of zero tolerance to female genital mutilation, and so we want to look at some traditional practices that we go through or we practice in Africa and how it affects the family. Like we told you last week, this is Family Focus. We're going to be discussing things that affect the family. As much as we like to take it, step by step, when we have issues or things that is being celebrated or that the world is paying attention to that affect the family, we're going to bring it to your view and we'll all discuss it. We'll discuss it together. So, what are some of the practices that you have known or that you know that we do in Africa?
Well, several of them, like aside from FGM, which is female genital mutilation, there's what we call early girl child marriage. I mean, now that may not be common in this part of Nigeria, but then in the north, it's a norm, and gradually it's coming down home. It may not be on the fast lane, but gradually it's coming up where the girl child is seen to get married early. There's this impression that the girl child doesn't have a life outside the home of a man. And they usually say there are two beds in the life of a girl child: the kitchen and the bedroom. So, I mean, that's another. And there's another that it says oftentimes we see them as traditional. Fortunately, they are harmful, but we call them traditional. Another one is, even though this might not be as intense as FGM, is the syndrome of traditional marks, having traditional marks, which of course is for identity, but then it's not
kind of not even existing anymore.
Not there.
But it's still funny that you see some young people that carry traditional marks.
Yeah.
Most of the time, maybe people who worship or who are traditional worshippers. Now, we may not really have young girls marriage in this part of the world, but we have something that is very common. We have young girls getting pregnant and dropping out of school. Though they were not sent to get married, but there's this culture in this part of Nigeria where you see young girls, secondary school children, getting pregnant and out, before marriage. And unfortunately, I'm so sure we are going to have a day to discuss it. Unfortunately, the problem we have here is that once a girl is married, she's as good as, once a girl is pregnant, she's as good as sending her to a man's house. So this is, although this is not our point of interest today, we just want to mention a few of some of the practices that are wrong and that affect the family. For example, a girl who is not prepared for marriage, she's not ready, she should be in school. because she got pregnant and we sent her to school. If we use wrong to correct wrong, are we going to get results? It's not possible. So it's not right that because a girl got pregnant and the next thing is to send her to a man's house to go and be living. A girl should be more prepared for marriage. Marriage is not something for children. Yeah, it's not for girls or for boys. Although that's not really our focus of discussion, we are going to have a day where we're going to really focus on that and discuss the challenges that people, not even the girls alone, even the boys, challenges they face when they are sent to getting married too early, and even for those even in the north where they practice the girl child marriage, what are the challenges the girls go through? A lot of health issues, psychological issues that they go through in their husband's home. So what we are looking majorly today, because we just celebrated the day of the zero tolerance to the girl child on February 6th. We need to the day of the zero tolerance to female genital mutilation. Sorry. So what exactly is female genital mutilation, and how is it important to family? Because we are talking about family focus. Why are we discussing this issue in this program today? So, Mr. Inka, I know we did the training together.
Yeah, I'm right.
Even though you're not a woman.
Well, FGM, female genital mutilation, is actually what's the other word they use for it is the word circumcision, which is cutting off the outer flesh that protects what I call the female genitals. It's the deliberate cutting. The idea behind it is to, number one, like I said, they call it traditional, but then the idea behind it is to ensure that the female child doesn't become promiscuous. It's traditional, but they feel if we don't do it for the female child, she becomes promiscuous. Also, there's impression that a female child that does at times adult females also go through it. That's if they escape it, there's an impression that if you escape FGM as a girl, you can still don't be sure you escape it as a teenager. If you escape it as a teenager, you go into womanhood. It is just a norm. It's a
right to womanhood in some culture.
Yes.
And beyond being promiscuous, there are lots of reasons. But one of the major is that they assume that if they cut the genital, the girl will not be promiscuous. And there are different, and let me just explain the genitalia. If you want to know the genitalia of a girl, the original way it should look is like when you cut snail into two. So now there is this outer part where we call the labia majora, then we have the labia minora. That is, labia is just like the part, the section. We have the bigger section and the lower section, and then we have the clitoris. The clitoris is likened to the male organ, the male penile organ. So the clitoris is the most sensitive part of the genitalia. So they believe that if that clitoris is there, the girl becomes promiscuous, and then sometimes we have 4 types. The type 1 is that they cut off the clitoris completely. Sometimes the type 2 is they cut the clitoris and the labia minora or majora, and then type 3, and they have different ways, but sometimes they either cut parts or cut completely. Then the type 3 is they cut everything, and then they now suture it and leave in a very tiny hole just for urination or for menstruation. And sometimes I heard it in this part of the world, they call something like photo. That is a girl child that doesn't have a passage, yes. So it's possible that some of these girls that they call is formed is due to female genital mutilation, and they need to they call that when they suture that part, it's called infibulation. They may need to defibrillate that girl to be able to have that passage. So why do they do these things, and what is the effect on the girl child? Number one, the reason why they actually cut off this, thinking the girl child will be promiscuous, is it's eventually turned the other way. Because most of the time, the girl child, or now a woman, maybe a married woman now, would not have pleasure during marital relationship. and this affects marriages. A lot of I was on radio, radio session on Friday, and I was discussing, and I was like, no man will want to have relationship or marital relationship. When we're talking, we're in a religious radio station, so we have to be careful how we use words. So when I mean marital relationship, is coital relationship between a husband and a wife. So no man will want to marry a woman that just stays on the bed like a log of wood because she has lost all sense of pleasure as a result of FGM. So, and unfortunately, some of these women end up experimenting. They want to, they desire the pleasure their husband is enjoying. No, of course, the man will enjoy himself, but the girl or the woman will not. So that woman, something will go into her mind and say, something is wrong with me. I also want to feel what my husband is feeling. It may make the woman to go outside. And then, if the man is not deriving pleasure, the man too will go outside. So eventually, we are kind of writing letter to infidelity in marriage due to this culture. Another reason is they said the clitoris when it touches the head of the baby when the woman is giving birth that baby may have the baby's head the baby may have a hole on the head or something may happen to the baby's head, and it's unfortunately the clitoris is just flesh. There's no bone there. So it's all of these things are myth, they are not real. And then the passage of the child is far from I'm a midwife, so I'm talking from my midwife experience. Now the passage of the child is far from where the clitoris is. So there's no relationship between the head of that child and the clitoris. There's no relationship at all. Probably there's a home right now. Maybe there's a home, you are listening to us, and you are contemplating on doing that right for your daughter. I want to say it's a wrong decision. It's a completely wrong decision for you to take your girl child and cut her. It is completely a very, very wrong decision. And we are still going to discuss more on the reason why you don't have to take that step. The reason why you don't have to take that step. So, Mr. Yinka, let me give you an opportunity to talk. What are the effects of this practice on the girl child?
Well, the effects are diverse. One effect I want to talk about is the pain. There's that physical pain that's, it's a pain that occurred to you several years ago, but then every time there are incidents that revive the memory of that pain. For instance, like you mentioned, seeing the husband and, wanting to do what you want to do as man and wife under God. There's always that pain. And, another thing is, now, I want to also talk about the psychological pain. For instance, like you said earlier, he's enjoying himself and suffering. That mindset, that alone has a lot of demoralizing the girl. Also, the idea that it was done for me. It was not done for because of
No, it was done for me because of him.
Yes.
It can even make the woman hate the man.
That that alone sets a foundation.
I have an experience. There was a time in my hospital, one of my friends, actually she was getting married. She was brought to open her hair to pump, what do you call it now? To puncture her ear, to put earring on her ear. She doesn't wear earring. Yes, she wasn't wearing earring until she was getting married. And fortunately, she was getting married to a pastor actually. But the pastor wanted a funky wife. So the pastor said she wants her to, coil her hair, and he wants her to wear earring and have a coiled hair, and also look, more attractive. So, it's for the very first time I saw a young lady crying that she was like kind of frustrated. She had to speak out and said, "Why am I going through all of this because I want to get married? I have to disvirgin my ear." I'm saying exactly what she said. I have to disvirgin my ear. I have to disvirgin my hair, and I'm still going to be disvirgin physically. Why? Why do you have to do all of this because of a man? So imagine this is just normal making a girl look beautiful.
As far as the man was concerned.
Yeah. No, of course, if she has done it as a baby, she wouldn't have even known it's painful.
Yeah.
You know, opening her ear was a stress for her. Then she has to go through putting relax on her hair. It will be painful.
Yeah.
And then imagine some culture actually waits for the time the one is going to marriage before they do this FGM. So imagine this same lady going through FGM because she would. What an insult! What an insult! If this girl automatically already sees that guy as an enemy.
Yeah.
So you mean they have to go through all of this because I want to,
Let's remember when you were talking. It also brings in stigmatization.
Yes.
See, you said something which I also perceive is also a dangerous trend. That is the fact that it's about him. It's about him. So it has a way of pitching the women against the men.
Actually, most of these traditional food practices are focused on the women. Some of them that we didn't mention on a lighter mood is when you are sharing food for the children. Yes, they will say give the boy child bigger meat. Why does it have boy child? We're not discussing
all those
girl child, boy child
issues
today.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We are interested in the female genital mutilation. But really, most of these practices, focus on the girl child. There's another one I queried recently. And they said the girl child should be seated. You should train the baby girl, to sit earlier than the boy. You see, grandparents telling you or older women telling you, let the girl child start sitting when she's 3 months old. Don't let the boy sit until he's 4 months old. Why? Because they said the boy will use his back. And I asked, who uses the back more? You sincere, Mr. Ika. Who uses the back more?
Those who back the babies number one.
The women use the back more. Let me give you reasons. Now, the woman is going to menstruate. And most of the time, the menstrual pain comes with the back pain. The woman is going to get pregnant. She needs the spinal cord to carry the pregnancy. The woman is going to back the baby with her back. Even if she wants to do a tush mother and she wants to carry the baby with the baby carrier, you still need the spinal cord to support the baby in the front. So who used the back more? So these practices usually focus more on the girl child. Why would a woman go through all of this pain because a man has to get pleasure in her? We should begin to the men too, of course, although, but not that way. Actually, this circumcision thing came from Genesis, I think, from Abraham.
Yeah, yes.
When God told Abraham to circumcise all the male child in his family, including his male servants, and I think the animals were included.
Yes.
So, and what do they cut off from the boy? Is the what's the name now? Is the what name they call it? But it's just a skin that covers the penile gland. I think it's called. I don't want to call the wrong name. I'm a professional, so let me not call the wrong name. But it's a flabby skin that covers the penile gland, and when this thing is not removed, it's when the penis is erected. Oh, sorry, are we allowed to use these words? when the male organ is erected, the skin folds in. But when it is not erected, the skin covers it. So what can happen is that if it is not removed, the boy can get infected. He can get infection. There could be species of urine in the penile gland, and there could be it's infection. I mean, death can gather around that place.
So based on what?
So it's an aesthetic procedure. It's just for the aesthetics of the guy, of the boy, and for hygiene purpose.
So at the end of the day, it's more advantageous
for the boy,
to the little child,
yes, than the girl child. So it's not the girl child that was asked to be circumcised. It's the boy child. And if you look at for those that are listening to us, please share this video, share the program, let other people learn from it. So for For the girl child, if you look at the genital of the girl child, there's nothing covering it except the hymen. And the hymen is inside the vagina, not outside it. So why do we need to, harm the girl child for whatever reason we have? So it's there's no health benefit to female genital mutilation. It rather have negative health implication. For example, Mr. Yinka have mentioned pain.
Yeah.
There and then the child feels pain. Then there'll be bleeding. The girl child will have will bleed. Some actually bleed to death. Apart from that, infection could set in. People who do this procedure use just one instrument, and they use dirty. They use instruments that are,
that cannot be altered.
I'm telling you, things like that could even be infected with tetanus during the procedure. She could get other diseases, blood diseases like HIV, many other diseases, hepatitis during this procedure.
Sorry, something came to my mind. It's said in Yoruba. The Yoruba version makes it simple. I can't remember very well, but it's something like the impression that, because we've had stories of girls that died at the end of the day, but what they usually do is once they're done with the mutilation, they just
package
them and sell them
to their mom. Yes.
Now that also talks about, like you talk about the object used for the mutilation. That also talks about the mind, and you see, for me, it's a godless mindset. The mindset that says the girl child just take her and do like when she is to just get her away from me, and whatever happens, who cares? That perception of whatever happens, and I can imagine, assuming the girl child was conscious enough, so I've seen that mindset of, because it's psychological. The way they're treating me is like, whatever happens to you, we don't care. It goes a long way in growing with her, and the thing is, it doesn't just affect her as a wife in the future. It affects every aspect of her life.
Yes.
Everything.
Psychologically, she goes through emotional trauma.
Yeah.
And if, for example, it's a girl that was already, a big child, a grown-up child. Some people even do when the girl child is attaining puberty. It's a right. And then that girl will live with that pain forever. And she could have what we call post-traumatic stress disorder. She could have nightmares. She could have and then trust. There'll be trust issues.
Yeah.
She will not trust her parents anymore. She would, keep having regrets that, why did I even follow them? I should have, stayed. Even though she maybe if it was all about.
Right.
By the time she grew up and she began to hear all of these things, how do you think that girl she feel betrayed? And honestly, if there is no way a woman will enjoy her marriage because it was done to her for the purpose of marriage. Why? It's completely wrong. So other things that will come out of this mutilation is infidelity. We mentioned that.
Yeah.
The wife could be infidel, the husband could become infidel too. It's in fact some people even become promiscuous because of this particular, which is what they will. Yes. Another thing, it has obstructive problems too. Some women have problem having babies because of this procedure. They have problems, going through labor because the passage of the child has been blocked. So we are going on a short break now. Continue our discussion.
ìfẹ́ o sùúrù ni ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ o sùúrù ni àní ẹjẹ́ á lè fẹ́ ara wa ká tó fi sùúrù bára wa gbé nínú ilé ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ o sùúrù ni dábàdábàdá. Gba sùúrù kó.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ sùúrù ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká nífẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa, ká fi sùúrù bára wa gbé. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ sùúrù.
So welcome back again to Family Focus with Patricia Abokede. Yeah, and we are here at Christ Proclaimer Radio. So this program comes to you every week and every Tuesday at 4 p.m. and we hope to have you on this program. Please put down your comment section. Put down your comments, whichever platform you're listening to us, the Facebook, YouTube. Let's hear your view. Do you know anybody who has gone through this mutilation? And what was the experience, or do you have an experience you want to share with the world? Let's know your point, your own part of the story. And I was talking about obstetric complication. So sometimes when women have been mutilated, they have difficulty having children by themselves. And I also want to say here, because people emphasize that a lot, it's not only the genital that make people have difficulty in having children. There are long list of reasons why women may have to have baby through CS. So but one of it is when the woman has been mutilated, because of the injury that has been done to the vagina will not be able to expand to its maximum capacity. A normal vagina will expand as much as 10 centimeters during childbirth. But some of this procedure, they would have poured corrosive acid on the vagina. The place will heal, to form a scar. And this will prevent expansion of the vagina during normal delivery. And some, because we said even some they will suture, if they did not defibrillate the woman, if a person that has been sutured together, leaving a very tiny hole, how do you expect that woman to have a baby?
Sorry, Auntie, but something came to my mind while you were talking about this suturing and caring for. I was listening to radio on Sunday, which was obviously like the next day after FGM worldwide. And I remember it was also told us at the training that they also use snail water to heal the wound. The thought of snail water alone as an adult makes me think, I can't imagine snail water in the cup of water I want to drink. Talkers of using to heal a wound of my body. It sounds absurd.
So they do lots of, it's a barbaric act. So some parents don't even enter that room. They don't even know what their children are going through. So if you are a parent and you are contemplating, it's a decision, probably God is speaking to you right now. Don't take that decision. Don't hurt your daughter. Don't kill her self-esteem. It affects the self-esteem of a girl. Imagine if there are a group of girls and they're talking about, let's say women, because you're in a church, married women talking about sexual relationship with their spouse, and one of them would not talk because she was mutilated and she doesn't have pleasure. She will feel a lot of things. Low self-esteem will set in, and it affects the civil self-image of that woman. Okay, so it's not a good decision at all. So you don't enter into that room where they do this thing, so you don't know what is going on. It's an abuse on the girl. It's against the sexual rights of that girl. It's against the sexual rights of that girl because you have not taken her permission to do that.
Sorry, I remember, I'll take you back to that training.
Yeah.
One of the women that came, an old woman, I remember she talked about her own experience when her first daughter was growing up. And then when it was time for the second daughter, because somehow she had the privilege of seeing a little bit of what goes on in that room. And you know, she will see that baby girl who trusted you as a mother, and now it's like, mommy, you're looking, because she was helpless. Now, when it was time for the second daughter, she was trying, she literally begged her husband to stand against it. But an older family member came and was like, it is tradition. And you know, I mean, I remember 2019, while she was an older minority boy, while she was sharing that,
She was even shedding tears.
So it's like, you know, the memories and everything. So it's like, unfortunately, it's a lifetime painful experience.
As a mother.
For her as a mother.
Now think of the child. Now, there's this stronghold of parents-in-laws on their children. This is not actually the time to discuss it. It will be a discussion one day. But the truth is that whatever makes a man to say, I'm ready to take a woman, then he should be able to make the decision for his family. Why would a mother, you've taken good care of your child, is old enough to marry, either a male or a female, and then why would you impose your own decision on them? It's completely wrong. It's a discussion of another day. But that something is a tradition, and you don't care the pain even the mother of that child is going through. You don't care. It means it's completely a satanic procedure. Yes, because it's only God is a merciful God. So it's the devil that sees people cry and in pain and doesn't care. It's the devil that does that. So it's completely wrong. I remember that scenario quite alright. There's another one I was opportune to know when we were doing this course in my school of midwifery. Our lecturer then told us of a story of a woman who, you know, after she got married, herself and her husband, they relocated to the US, and they were there for a long time, and they began to be troubled. That it's time for them to come home. We've not seen you for a while. Come home, bring your children home. So the pressure was so much on them, and so they succumbed, and they brought their children, 3 girls, home. And then one day, the mother-in-law, that's the husband's mother, just came that is taking the children away for something, a traditional rite. The mother did not even know. And that was how they packed all the 3 girls to mutilate them. And by the time the children were coming, they could not walk very well. And they were not infants, they were grown-up children. And they could not walk well, and they were like, Mommy, why? Mommy, why? Mommy, why? Mommy, why? And that was what the girls kept asking their mom, what did we do wrong? What did we go wrong? Why did you bring us to Nigeria to come and, you know, cause us to feel this pain? So what do you think is in the mind of those people?
What I call it, lack of trust. I love that question. I know that alone is going to be traumatic for the mother, because at every point of their life, anytime they have to talk like mother and daughters, it's always be, Mommy, why did you do that? You know, like you said, unfortunately, Mommy might also be innocent of what is happening.
Well, how does she explain to those?
That's the problem. Now, the explanation is it's not you know, like we're talking now. You can't just talk it through as you've explained. You need to engage everybody. You need to talk. Their father needs to be involved. I mean, it will take time for it to heal, but then the process has to be started. You have to that time. They will overbeg those girls, because those girls will not. They won't just say, Mommy, why? It's be daddy, so you are this weekend. So how could you have brought us to your own mother? I mean, so it will take a long time to heal. Both parents have to be involved, and I mean, I've heard people say like that same trait. I love that trait. I've heard someone go as far as saying that, well, if it means taking the so-called mother-in-law to court or something.
Yes, actually, the wife wanted to take the mother-in-law to court.
Well, tradition will also come in again and say, who are you?
And unfortunately, they will just turn everything
against the woman. She becomes the problem.
She becomes the bad egg.
The bad egg.
What have we done that nobody have done before?
Was it not
the
done
tradition? So what?
Mm.
But you know, this thing can actually break that home completely.
Yeah.
The marriage could just be as good as gone. So well, now let's assume a woman is listening right away, and she realized that, oh, she has been going through all of these things because she was mutilated. What do we expect her to do?
Well, I mean, the deed is done like they say. At this point, the first thing she needs to, number one, she needs to be an advocate for zero tolerance. That is one thing. In other words, I wouldn't know what has happened to our daughters, but I mean, for every other person that is going, number one, that's about. Then number two, because like I said earlier, the healing process will not happen because even she herself needs to be healed.
Sure.
So she needs counseling. She needs, thank God we're in a Christian world, she needs to be prayerful. There's a lot of God's involvement in it. She needs God's involvement. She needs to begin to talk about it. She needs to open
Then
herself
she
to
needs
counseling.
to forgive.
That's
That's number one. Because knowing that I have control of these things, there will be hatred.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The anger, hatred, pain, regret,
frustration.
That you mean I will actually went through all of these things, and that is why I'm not enjoying my marriage. This is why my husband is misbehaving. That is all of these things is going to be coming in. Yes, it's good. It's actually good to express your anger. It's so good. But then you need to also forgive, because healing starts from forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Healing starts from forgiveness. Then you need to confront your parents. It's important. Ask them why did they do that. Of course, they will have their explanation. They will tell you that they too did not know. Because if you hold it against them without discussing it with them, you would most likely hate your parents
and hurt yourself.
and you keep hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And when a woman, not even a woman, a hurting person hurts others.
Yeah.
Indirectly, you
And the
put
cycle
on your
continues.
children and your husband.
Yeah.
So you need to heal, you need to talk with your parents, discuss it, then have a family discussion.
Yeah.
Let it end with you. None of your daughters will go through that anymore. None of your family members will go through that anymore. It's important. So we want everybody hearing us right now to be an advocate to zero tolerance to female genital mutilation. And we want our men, our husbands, our fathers, please stand up for us. We are in a patriarchal society where men hold sway over women, but we need the men to stand up for us. Please remember to put on the comment section. You're watching us from Facebook or from whatever social media platform you are watching. Put in your comment section what is your role as a person, a father, a mother, to end female genital mutilation. Please put on the comment section. Let's hear from you. So we want to do our closing. So Mr. You can have something. Oh, it's a secret.
Why must I go through this pain? Why must I be abused? I came to this world innocently seeking love. My mission was to give love if I can only get it. But this pain, do you know the pain I feel? Have you ever felt the same pain? If you have felt the pain, is it fair? You call it tradition, I call it hate. You call it the norm, I call it abnormal. Why this pain? Why must I die like this? You sit down there to watch me go through this and you expect me to love. You sit down there you see me go through this and you expect me to still be the woman I was created to be. The question is, where were you when God molded me in his own likeness and image? Why will you abuse or defile me? Why?
All right, thank you for that. I guess especially in spoken word, so we get into some of this during our program. So we want to appreciate you for joining us in today's program. We hope you've got value for your time. And please share. Don't keep it to yourself. Share this broadcast. Share it. Let other people learn from it. Be an activist against female genital mutilation. Let it end in your family. Let it begin with you. Fathers stand for your daughters. Mothers say no, you will not take it for your daughters. So until we see you again next week, 4 p.m. on Tuesday. I'm Patricia Abokede.
I am Olayin Kodor once again the Eagles voice.
All right, so see you.
See ya.
God bless you.
God bless you.